And welcome here to TalkFCB, and welcome back to the channel here today, guys, where I am indeed now all home. I am ready, and I am back to work here. The important business is about to start, and coming up today, we have a full Barca news roundup, which includes plenty of transfer news. There we're going to be talking about Jonathan David and big debate on Rafael Leao. I really want your thoughts on that one. And we're also going to be discussing today Lamine Yamal and the new Camp Now. It is all coming up for you. I hope that you're all doing well and are excited for Barca's return. So come on, and let's do this. But I do have to begin, guys, with a very special super thanks shout out, because we have had some very big ones on the channel, but this one right here, this is indeed significant, because the super thanks basically says there that it's been 10 years since our last Champions League win, and if we win the Champions League this season, I will propose to my girlfriend after the win instead of waiting until the summer. And again, guys, you've got to remember here, like we said before on the channel, Hansi Flick is the love doctor. If he hears that, if he's aware of that, he will make it happen there. So let's all hope that it does, because if you just have a look at this right here, this is actually Flick's calendar that he's actually put there inside of the club with all big dates, important events there on that calendar. And as has been pointed out here in the media, he has already added the Champions League final in Munich this season. That's written on the calendar. It's there for everybody to see. That is the aim. That is the objective. And even if it's a small thing, I like that mindset. I like that frame of mind there where we're saying, okay, look, Champions League final, that is where we want to be. That's what we're gunning for, and we will not stop until we make it possible there. So Flick, he's doing everything in his power to make it happen. But what about an update here on Barca's stadium plans, of course, because we have been waiting for the big return. We all want to be back in our proper home there, the Camp Nou, and we thought that it may be in December. We were hoping, sort of an outside hope really, of it being done and ready to play in by then. It's not going to be, I'm afraid, there. We were hoping maybe it'll be by the end of the year, maybe in January. But Barca now have confirmed that the matches at home there in January against Valencia, Alaves and Atalanta in the Champions League, they will all be played at Montjuic there. So we are extending our stay at the Olympic Stadium right up until the end of January right now. But the word from the club is, following that final game there at home against Atalanta, the very next one in February, that will be at the Spotify Camp Nou. The relaunch will be complete and it will be ready. Of course, not full capacity, but to start playing there again, that is the most important thing. And of course, what that means as well is looking at the Champions League knockout stages, for instance. If we stick to those plans, if we can there adhere to that time frame, we will be back in our stadium ready for the Champions League knockout stages. That would be a huge boost there. That would be almighty for us. And like I say, I just hope that it can happen. But looking right now, guys, at the more immediate future, looking at Lamine Yamal, for example, and this weekend's game away at Celta Vigo, it's another tricky game. It's another game here that will certainly test and challenge Barca, particularly after the loss against Real Sociedad. We're having to jump back in here to another really tricky away match. And Celta are on decent form as well. And the big question's going to be, is Lamine Yamal going to be back for that game, of course? He's been suffering right throughout this international break, unfortunately, with an ankle problem, and the suggestion is, the latest news in the media, is that he won't be there. The suggestion right now is that Barca, they want maximum caution. They really do. Don't want to take any risks at all with Yamal if there's any pain, which there has been over the past few days. They do not want to play him in the weekend's game. So right now it looks as though Yamal will miss the game against Celta, but the feeling still remains that he'll be back for the Champions League there against Brest in midweek next week. That is going to be a big one too. So let's wait and see what is going to happen. But if we do move on to some all-important transfer talk here on the channel, guys, and let's start with Jonathan David, because according to multiple reports here over the international break in the media, he is absolutely determined. He would love to make a move to Barca in 2025. Now, Lille have been very, very clear he will not be leaving the club in January, so it's looking there like a potential summer acquisition if it is going to happen, and I really do believe that he'd love to come, quite honestly, because he just said that he would. He said actually during the international break that Barca was always the team that he supported growing up as a kid, and he said when you grow up supporting a team, it's a dream to play for them there. He would love to make that dream come true by signing for Barca, and you've got to say, he is an excellent striker. You know, he's been scoring goals at an excellent rate in France, and not only there as well, you've got to mention his form for the Canadian national team. He's been very, very impressive there too. I know a lot of people in Canada have been really excited about Jonathan David now for many, many years, and he's still only 24 years old as well. It feels so he's been around for a long, long time, and he's always been very highly rated here for many years now, ever since his breakthrough back in Belgium actually for Ghent. So he's somebody who's always been on the radar for the biggest of clubs, and Barca, they appreciate his goal-scoring form, they appreciate his profile there as a forward, but above everything else, I think with Jonathan David, it's all about here the market opportunity that Barca have, because he is going to be available in the summer on a free transfer. And now this, of course, is a strategy that Barca have used now for the past few seasons here, signing quality players on free transfers, and it is a strategy that's worked really, really well here. We've had lots of players come in, show their quality, really contribute to the team, and of course with a free transfer, the absolute worst case scenario is that you usually end up selling them on anyway, even if it doesn't work out perfectly, for profit. So Barca here are looking again at Jonathan David, an opportunity in the market, although right now, not everybody at the club apparently is convinced, not everybody is on board as of now, so no final decision has been made, but they are certainly looking at him, and they certainly value what he could bring to our club. However, guys, speaking about Barca's 2025 plans, well, that brings us on to the topic of Rafael Leao, because let me just say first and foremost here, it seems almost certain that Barca in 2025 are still going to be targeting that big left-wing signing. That appears to be the priority once again, because honestly, guys, you can understand that. You can certainly believe that, given that last summer we were really targeting one too, of course. We went after Nico Williams. We were not able to get him in the end, of course, but Barca are fully expected to return to try and get a left winger next year. And there are growing rumours right now surrounding Rafael Leao for a number of different reasons in the media, of course. Don't forget, he is a Jorge Mendes client. I mean, already that puts him right up there on Barca's list of targets. He's also a player that Joan Laporta himself is a really big fan of. He has made it no secret at all that he really likes the profile of Leao. And also, looking at his time right now at Milan, not everything is rosy there. It doesn't seem to be a perfect relationship between him and the club. And all of these things combined, they really add to the possibility that Leao could be in Barca's sights in the coming summer. And what's come out recently here from Fernando Polo, very, very reliable journalist, is that Rafael Leao also is crazy about the idea of joining Barca. Just like Jonathan David there, he would absolutely love to make it happen. He's also been speaking with it already with his agent. They've been making it known in many ways to Barca. So Barca are aware here of the interest from Leao, the desire from him, and that is a very important first port of call when you're talking about any potential deal. But here's the thing, guys, and this is the thing about Rafael Leao. It is all for me about that price tag, because what we are hearing, what we have heard now for many, many seasons, you are talking probably about a 100 million player. You know, you might get him a little bit cheaper. It might be 90 million, 85 million. We don't know right now, but I would say, looking at this deal, it's a 100 million package. And my big question would be, is he a 100 million player? Is he worth that big, big outlay from Barca? And for us, of course, in our financial situation, we're coming out of it now, but only slowly, so it would still be a massive, massive deal. Is he a player that you would spend that amount of money on? That is my question here. Because look, for me, when you're talking about Leao, is he a 100 million player? Is he a player there that should command that kind of money? I think he can be. He could be that kind of player. He could be a 100 million player. But he's not right now on a consistent basis, at least. And within the club right now, apparently, there's the belief that Hansi Flick could take Rafael Leao to the next level. That is what they see from within the club. They look at the characteristics that Leao has, the attributes that he has in his game, and they look at Hansi Flick and they think, okay, could he then take his game to that next level? Because I would say here, straight off the bat, Rafael Leao, he'd need to be more focused. He would certainly need to work a lot harder in the pressing. I'm thinking about that specifically right now, and I think there's lots of areas in his game whereby he needs to be pushed. They need to be polished in some ways. It's about bringing it all together consistently at the right times and basically making those right decisions in the final third. And of course, Hansi Flick, he is certainly the man to do that. What he's done this season with Rafinha has been extraordinary. But of course, Rafinha, different kind of player, different kind of attributes there. He already had all of that tenacity, the intensity, the pressing, the work rate. That was all there. But Flick has managed to put him in a system which really gets the best out of him. So what I would say about Rafael Leao for me, he is an incredibly talented player. He's got so much ability, but we would effectively be paying here about 100 million. That's massive, massive money for a player that we would be hoping to take to the next level. You know, we would be relying here on Flick to make that happen. It is not a guarantee here that Leao, for all of that money, would come in and be able to perform on the level that you'd expect for that kind of outlay. So I would say here, he is an incredible player. He is probably one of the best wingers on his day in the world, but it is a risk. There would be a significant amount of risk, in my opinion, to going out paying that amount of money. But hey, can I just point out here that maybe the club have to be trusted in what they choose to do? Because let me just take you back to the summer, guys, and most of us all thought, why are we spending that kind of money on Dani Olmo? Is that going to be a worthy investment? Is he going to be the kind of player that we need? And now we all see the vision. So I am willing here to look at the club, to look at what they're doing, to understand what they're trying to do, and give them some leeway. But it's going to be interesting to see in these months to come what happens with Rafael Leao, how these potential negotiations go. And do let me know, guys, in the comments down below, if Barca were to go out and spend big on Leao, would it be a good signing? Would he come in and make the kind of impact that that money would demand? Please do let me know all of your thoughts and opinions down below. It's great to be back here with all of you on the channel, and there will be lots more coming up as we build up to Barca's return. Thank you indeed to all of you here for tuning in, and I will catch you soon. But until next time, as always, Vesca, Barça.